Hello, welcome to another Igloo imaging tutorial. This week we're going to look at flat designs. I've done some 8 designs here, various different things: lemon, raindrop, tree, cartoon character, moons, phone, flower and a clock. I'm going to go through each one of them and I'll put timestamps on if you want to fast forward to any particular one. Some basic principles: align and Pathfinder. If you go up to Windows, there's a line Pathfinder down there. If you can't see them, I've got my setup that I've used for years. If you want to copy it, go ahead. I've copied things down here and I'm going to go through each one individually. We'll start with the clock. So the first thing we're going to do is use the ellipse tool. If you can't see these pink lines, they're smart guides. So go up to View, Smart Guides, also Snap to Point. It's just something that helps. So if you drag and click with the ellipse and hold Alt and Shift, drag and click until it looks back right. I'm just going to make it white, so your fill colour to become white. Now there's lots of different ways to do each one of these things in Illustrator. I'm going to show you the way I do it. Feel free to do it a different way. Now we can add a stroke to this circle. So if we click on the stroke and click on something around 90% grey, we'll click on your stroke and start upping the weight till it looks about right. And once we've done that, we can do a couple of things. We can either leave it, we can expand it. So if you go up to Object, Expand, Fill and Stroke, click OK. What it's done there is separate those two. You don't need to do that. We can leave it as a live stroke, and then we can just Command C, which is copy, and then Command Shift V, which is paste in place. Paste an exact copy straight up the top. We can then ditch the fill color. We can change the stroke to a slightly lighter color. We can drop that weight down, and if we click the align stroke, you've got it align stroke to center, inside and outside. If we click outside, just drop that weight down a couple more. You see that's what we're going for. And if I click on that and we get one of these bounding boxes and pull it out, but if I hold Command and Shift, you can pull it out just so it overlaps the edge, and we've got that stepping colour towards the edge. Again, if you just go ahead and Command Shift V, we're going to paste another one in place. Again, holding Alt and Shift, drag these in, and we can switch this just to a black fill circle. Bring it right down, we want it to be quite small. In fact, it looks like I've used the grey again, so let's stick 90% grey on there. And then we're going to draw the hands. We'll use the line tool and click on that center point and drag it up. Now the reason it's done a big fat line is because the last stroke we had was this one, so it's matched that weight. So just jump on the weight there and drop it down to maybe 6, looks okay. With the direct select tool, which is A, click on that end point and hold Shift. Click on that end point, hold Shift, bring it down to where we want it. Oops. Eventually, there we go. And then again, line tool from the center, drag out, and drop that weight down to, this is the minute hand, so it can go thinner than the hour hand. And then one more, drag from the center out. This one we're going to switch to red and make it a bit thinner. And because it's the second hand, we're going to zoom in with Z and select it. And if you're on the cap options on stroke, there's a round cap. It just changes that end there from being square to being round. You can also, if you want, to make it a little bit thinner, the width tool. And if you click on this end point here, you can just take it down a little bit. which means it goes from sort of fat to thin. Very subtle, but it makes a difference. Click this this center circle, press Command Shift and the right hand square bracket. That'll just bring that circle up to the front, so it jumps in front of the second hand. Okay, clock's getting there. We're going to put in the hour markers now. Select this one. It's going to match that weight, and then we'll hit line again. Get lined up here. Just drag, hold Shift, drag down a bit. There we go. And with V, just select it. And you want to press Alt. You see the cursor turns to a double cursor. That's what you want. It's going to copy that. And if you hold Shift, it's going to bring it down in line. Just bump that one up a bit. It's roughly circular. If we select all this, just drag V over all of it, and then holding Shift, just deselect that one and deselect that one. We'll press Command G. That's going to group all this together apart from those two new numerical markers. So if we select those markers there, press V on one, hold Shift, press V on the other. We're going to group these together as well. So Apple Command G, which means we've got two groups. We've got that one, and we got that one. Now if we select all with V, I can then use the Align tool. I can align horizontal align center, and I can horizontal align vertically. Now, you didn't really see anything, it's probably lined up, but if I just move that off there and do that again, so we do the horizontal and then we do the vertical. And that tells me that these are exactly lined up within the circle. So the next part is important for that. I'm just going to move that and then another touch. So now, with these selected and grouped, you're going to Command C, Command Shift V, which is pasted in place. It's probably the one thing I use the most in Illustrator. So we've got it pasted in place. We're then going to use Rotate. If you can't see it, it's probably under Reflect. So double click it, the Rotate box comes up. Now we're going to divide this circle by 12 hours. We want 12 markers. So we're going to use 360 degrees, which is a circle, /, which is divide, and 12, which is the hours. Now if I press Tab instead of OK, it works out that calculation for 30 degrees. So I know I need to do 12 increments of 30 degrees. So I press OK. Now, cool little trick, if you Command C, Command Shift V, and then Command D, it's going to repeat that. And we keep doing that until we're done. So Command C, Command Shift V, Command D. Keep going. And then we're done. We can select the main ones, 12, 6, 9, 3. We can up the weight maybe on those. We can select these ones in between, drop the weight maybe a little bit on those, and that looks pretty good. There we go. The only thing we've got now is a shadow. Again, lots of ways to do it. If you select everything, you go up to Object and Expand Appearance. You might need to do it twice sometimes. Object, Expand Appearance, and then the Fill and Stroke come up. Tick those, click OK. And now all we've got are fill shapes, we've got no strokes, which means when we use the pen tool, you go to the edge here and drag out and hold Shift to about there, drag over to about there, and then drag to this outside edge, and then close it off. You know when it's going to close off because a circle will appear. And close it off. Now I can just color drop this, and it'll do my preset gradient. All you need to do for this is sort of color drop your background color, make it a tiny bit darker. So if I click on the gradient here, you can see it's magenta 8, yellow 34, black 24. So you just use a bit of black, a bit of darkness in. With that selected, the end of the gradient needs to be opacity 0. So your darkest end is going to be opacity 100, so you can't see through it, and then opacity 0 right there. You click the gradient tool here, drag from the middle here, you'll see you can do it like that, drag straight out to this outside edge. You don't want to be exactly on it because you don't want to see any line, you just want the shadow to disappear. So about there. And then I'm going to select everything here, press Shift, deselect your shadow, and then press Command, Shift and the right hand square bracket, and that'll bring that clock to the front. And that's pretty much my shadow done there. Right, onto something easier. The raindrop, tear shape, whatever you want to call it, drop of water. Start with the ellipse tool, click and drag out, holding Alt and Shift. Click and drag out to about there. Obviously it's copied my shadow from before, so I can just colour drop of blue. I've only got 27% cyan here. Now we're going to select with direct select tool, which is A. We're going to select this top bounding box. We're going to pull it up about there and then press P. Once you press P, hover over this top point. You'll see minus. If I just click it, that'll get rid of it. I don't want to do that. I want to click over it and press Alt, and it changes into a little arrow. Can you see? Press that, and it takes away the radius on it. And then I can press A and direct select these two, and then bring them up just a little bit. Maybe up to about here. And press P, and I can hold Alt and click, which will take it away. But if I keep holding, it'll bring it out again. And if I press Shift, it's going to keep it flat, and I can bring it out just a little bit so it looks a bit more round. Get to somewhere where it looks about right, and it should be okay. Maybe bring it in just a little bit. Yeah, that's about right. Now to create this sort of shadow on the side, we're going to use our old favourite copy and paste in place. So Command C, Command Shift V. That's pasted in place, and then I'm going to use the other way of doing it, which is press V, select this, and hold Alt and drag. So I've dragged off another copy. I've copied it once and I've copied it twice. So there's 3 altogether here. So with this one selected, I'm just going to change it to any colour, make it a little bit easier to see. I'm going to change the size of this. I'm going to hold Shift and drag it out a little bit, make it a bit bigger. And I'm going to move it around, be a bit bigger. I'm going to line it up with that top point there, so just nudge it in a bit. And I'm maybe just push it a little bit that way. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press Shift, and I'm going to select this one. And then with Pathfinder, again, if you can't see it, Windows, Pathfinder, I'm going to minus front. So that's going to take the green one away from the light blue one, so minus front. And that's chopped that shape out there. I can colour drop with I to the one I've already got. It's 32% cyan, 11% black if you want to copy it. So that gives us a nice shadow on that edge. And now we're just going to do a quick reflect, which is the ellipse tool, draw a circle, Alt Shift. Again, press Alt, copy this one over, change the colour if you want to see what you're doing. Somewhere about there, maybe make the circle a bit bigger so it's a bit more of a moon ellipse. With V selected, select that one, and minus front. Change this to white, and pop it in here, and it looks about right. Again, doing the shadow, same way as we did it on the clock. I'm not going to repeat that at the same time, but that's how we did it. Lemon. This is the first one we've got with half in shadow, half not. Similar principles apply. Ellipse tool, draw yourself a sort of nice fat lemon shape. I'll colour drop this yellow, which is 10% magenta, 100% yellow. I'm going to use the ellipse tool again, draw a little sort of circle on the top. I'm going to maybe draw a little wider, fatter ellipse on the bottom. Not too worried about lining them up, so I'm just going to select all 3 and hit align horizontal, and it's going to do it for me. With all these selected, I'm going to unite them all in Pathfinder, which makes it one shape. See, it goes from 3 shapes to 1 shape. And then I'm going to Command C, and with A, direct selected, I'm going to select this side of the lemon. Not the 2 top points, just the stuff on the right hand side, and I'm going to hit delete. Now if I select that top point with A, direct select, and then hold Shift and direct select that, and then press Command J, I'm going to join those 2 dots up. You can see they're not joined, and Command J, they're joined together. This is just a black and white preview mode, by the way. You press Command Y, it jumps to an outline so you don't see any colours. Now I've got that selected, I'm in fact going to do it the drag way, so press V, click on this, hold Alt, start to drag, but hold Shift and drag over a copy. Underneath my rotate, I've got reflect, double click reflect, and you want vertical. and then just drag it back in until those pink smart guides have you lined up. This just looks a tiny bit off. Oh. There we go, that's lined up. And then click the right hand side and just add in a bit of black until it looks about right. And doing that shadow, we're going to do it the same way. We're just going to use the shape, press V, Alt drag, so we've got a copy of it a bit up here so we can see. Again, V, Alt drag, change the colour so you can see. Make this a bit bigger. And select both and minus front. Then jump into the white, plug it into here. Oh, we've got a little bit left over there, so just select the A and get rid of that. And that looks about right, maybe a bit too big. Shrink it down a bit. Once you've shrunk it down, you might need to drag it upwards and downwards, and that's about right. Next one, tree. This is super simple. We're going to click on the ellipse tool and go out to polygon. Drag and hold your polygon. Now if you press the up and down arrows, it's going to add more sides to your polygon. If you keep them pressing down, it's going to take it right down to the most basic, which is a triangle. If you hold Shift, it's going to draw you a triangle. And then we can use the V and press Alt, drag, press Shift, down. Bottom bounding box in the middle, hold Shift. Oh, you have to start to drag first. Hold Shift, make sure about there. V, Alt, drag, there we go. And the same again with these sides. Up a little bit, select them all, unite them all, colour drop a green. And then we're going to do the same process we just did with the lemon. So Command C, Command Shift V. Oops, sorry, actually delete that. I'm going to select this side, this one, and get rid of it. Now you can see it's done a funny lightning bolt thing because we didn't have a center point. I can undo that and line up and press P and add in a point, an extra point there. So we'll do that. Get rid of these on this side, select that one and that one, Command J to join them together. V with Alt, drag, and hold Shift. So we'll duplicate. And then reflect vertically, hit OK, drag it until it lines up, and colour drop the darkness. Simple. And then this is just a straightforward rectangle. And at the bottom, slightly offset. And cool trick here, Command C, Command Shift V, and then go to this side, and we'll pop it out there. We'll colour drop that darkness. Line it in the middle, and select these two guys, Command and the square bracket. Oop. Command Shift square bracket brings it up to the front. And the shadow done in the same way. The moon's a good one. We're going to start with the ellipse. Draw a nice big circle, holding Alt and Shift. We're going to colour drop this. It's a little mix of cyan, magenta, yellow and black. Just pause it and copy those. About 3%, 7%, 11%. And we're going to draw this ellipse. So we're going to use V, select it, hold Alt, drag a copy off. Again, I'll change colour so you can see. Same again, V, Alt, drag, change colours again, make this a bit bigger. So we get a sort of crescent moon. And V, select that one, hold Shift and select that one, and minus front. Now we're going to line that up with the circle. Not quite aligned up. There we go. And I'm going to colour drop the ones that I've already done off into yellow. Let's go to our moon, do ellipse again, draw some circles, just make them random, do some overlapping here, one there, and one there. Press V, select that one, and press Shift and select that one, so you've got both selected. And we'll do a stroke colour. I just need to colour drop this, drag this colour into my swatches, and then select them again, press V, hold Shift, select those two, select the stroke, select that colour you dragged in, and hit the stroke up a couple, and there we go. To draw the stars, it's just the ellipse tool set to white. and you just drag a few random stars. Nice and quick. Try to make them as random as possible. There you go. It's simple. Cartoon character here. This is very straightforward. There's a nice little one here. You can do it a few ways, but rounded rectangle tool. Don't know what your presets will be set to, but when you drag and hold, press the up cursor and it rounds off the corner. If you press the down cursor, takes them out. Press the up cursor, takes them there. When you want a sort of shape around there, I've already done the skin tone. Do that, draw an ellipse from the center of his head, drag out back there, color it black. Bring this one up to the front, so Command Shift, right hand square bracket. Going to draw an eye, which is just a circle. Set that to white. Command C, Command Shift V, shrink it down, holding Alt and Shift. Make that black. We've got one eye, and drag, holding Alt and Shift. We've got two eyes. We can select these and group them together. Apple G. Select all of them, align, so if we were completely off, which is not, it looks like he's looking over there, but if we were completely off, we can hit that align, and it'll align them straight up. The nose is just a circle, I'll drop that, and a rounded rectangle for the top of the nose. Again, we can align these all up, and we've got some circles on the cheeks, drag those over, colour drop those. Got a little round mouth, like a surprise, and some rounded rectangles for the eyebrows. Hopefully like that. Press V, just rotate them up a little bit, drag one over there, move down a bit, looking up a little bit tired maybe. Drag it over here, and you can do the reflect tool, and you want vertically. Drag it over a little bit, and that's it. Ears. Just some circles again. Maybe those are a bit too big. Command C, Command Shift V, shrink that down, holding Alt and Shift. Color drop the darker brown, drag it in there. We can send it to the back. We can press Command and the left hand square bracket and keep tapping it until it goes to the back. And then we can drag that one across, holding Alt and Shift again. There we go. Cartoon effect. Now the flower pot. And the phone, we'll do the phone first. We'll do that rounded rectangle, drag it out. Obviously, it's got a large bevel on it from the last one. Press that down cursor until you get to something that looks about right. Get the shape, to be black. And on this one, I'm going to do it slightly differently. We're going to use a stroke. So I'm going to color drop this, which is a 90% black. And then on the stroke, I'm just going to add a black stroke, knock the weight up a little bit. We've got some little rounded rectangles, we'll just make these black so we don't need a stroke on them. That one can be zoomed in. That one can be the lock button, drag that one over using Alt and Shift. Let's make it smaller. Then we've got that's the mute button. Click and hold, Alt and Shift. Direct select these bottom ones, drag it out. V, Alt and Shift, click and hold. Select all of them, bring it in. Just tap them in so they look like they're overlapping. Again, use the bevel tool. I think there's a bit more of a bevel on it like that. And get the center aligned. We can dump those ones. If you want to Command J, you can do. If you need to for this tutorial, there we go. And then the ellipse tool, draw a couple of circles. Make them Alt and Shift, Alt and Shift. Darker, look around a rectangle. Going a bit fast here, but not to worry. And then to do this shape across here, we can just Command C, Command Shift V. We can drop this stroke. We can color drop this, and we can press P. I want to add in an anchor point here and there. and select these ones up here, holding Shift, and just hit delete, select your 2 points, and Command J. Now you'll see it's gone over the stroke because I've got a fill and a stroke here. So what I can do, I can Command C on this one, drop off the stroke, and I can Command Shift V, and then I can drop off the fill, and that's just going to put it in front. So now I've just got that as the output. That's it for the phone and the flower. There's a few different techniques on this one. If you use the rectangle, you can click. That's a good trick. If you start with something like just a stroke, no fill, you can press the eyedropper tool and just click on that. It's going to copy it. It's going to get rid of the stroke and copy the color. So we're just going to do this and make it square for now. I'm going to Shift and Alt, drag it down, drag this down, jump this one in a little bit, jump that one in a bit. You can do this more precisely. But right now this will do. I'm going to take these two shapes, Command C, Command Shift V. Let's make a different color so we can see what's going on. I'll bring this one to the front. So Command Shift and the right hand square bracket. And what I want to do is just chop out the space here. So I'm going to hold this one, bring it down to there, select the two, holding Shift, and then I'm going to use a different pathfinder, Intersect, which has got me this shape. I'm going to color drop the shadow. I'm going to grab this one, bring it to the front, Command Shift, and the right hand square bracket, and we've got a shadow. Now, you're thinking this one's got rounded corners, this one's got sharp ones, direct select that, and that, holding Shift, and then these round circles will appear, and you just drag those in ever so slightly, and it will round off all the corners. And then the rest is fairly straightforward. Drawing little flower. So I'm going to speed this last bit up. And there we go. We've got all the illustrations, flat illustrations done. Those core principles of Align and Pathfinder and sending things to the front and back and grouping things, those are the things you want to practice. You can apply this to illustrate anything. I hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe so I can continue making these videos. We'll see you again next time.